Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records and another Monday with Miles Davis. So we are talking about the classic live album, Live at the Plug Nickel. So this is recorded from a 2-week stand in Chicago at the Plug Nickel from December 21st through January 2nd. And we're going to talk about this. This is phenomenal, top shelf, second quintet era stuff. It's fantastic. Miles had come off kind of a turbulent 1965. He recorded ESP, the first album with Wayne Shorter, in January. From January till the album's release, he had hip surgery. He then was playing and was hospitalized. He was then playing with his sons and broke his leg, had to be hospitalized again. Ultimately gets a plastic hip joint put in late summer, early fall. The band gets back on the road. You know, again, this band is newly formed. I guess late 64, Shorter joins. They're back into groove by late fall of 65, at which point the guys in the band say this. And I'm going to read this according to Wayne Shorter. By this point, the group had settled back into a groove, causing the musicians to become restless and dissatisfied. Herbie Hancock stated, "We'd gotten so cohesive as a band that it had become easy to play together. We had figured out a formula for making it work, but of course, playing by formula was exactly the opposite of what we wanted to do. We needed to put the challenge back in to figure out ways to take more risks." He recalled, "Everybody did things according to certain kinds of expectations. I knew if I did this, Ron would do that. Or Tony knew that if he did this, I would do that. It became so easy to do that it was almost boring," Herbie Hancock says. On the flight to Chicago, Tony Williams comes up with a solution, proposing that we make anti-music. Whatever someone expects you to play, that's the last thing you play. After some discussions, the musicians agreed, but decided not to tell Davis. Hancock added, "Some people have suggested that Tony was trying to sabotage the band by doing this, but really he was only trying to sabotage our comfort level as a band. To break us up again. It was just another step in trying to push our boundaries as musicians." Again, this record, and this was a reissue from '82. It's fantastic. We're going to talk about this. This is from a couple of dates in that December run in 65. I don't know why there's not a picture of Tony Williams. Hancock, Shorter, Carter, and Davis, with yet another picture of Davis here and another picture of Davis on the cover. Where is Tony Williams? I do not know where Tony is, and maybe somebody out there knows. Let me know. But sorry about the lighting in here tonight. I don't normally shoot at this time of day. Let's talk about this record. So the album opens up with, Miles' Standard Walking, which is, a post-bop, a hard bop classic. Really defines hard bop. But, they come in with a scorcher right out of the gate. Miles is fast and articulate, with Carter bopping along to the ride cymbal of Williams. Ultimately post-bop magic. So you're taking this hard bop song that almost defines that and turning it into this post-bop thing. Wayne comes in at the 4:50 mark. Abbreviated sketches, soundscapes, teasing the listener almost before giving way to wild, honking, wailing, accompanied by tremendous fill breaks by Tony, and then allowing Hancock to jump in at the 8:45 mark. This record is all long songs, by the way. The next song is Agitation. This is from the ESP record that was released in August, so this is a Miles composition. It's the only new material on this live album. Just like the name suggests, Miles comes in with a frenzy, augmented by contradicting lines by Hancock that are abstract, but just as planned. Williams and Carter tune up at the 3-minute mark and really fly before Shorter comes in with his tenor saxophone, mellow and smooth at the 4-minute mark. Hancock shows his true genius at the 8:30 mark. On Green Dolphin Street is next on this thing. On Green Dolphin Street is a Davis standard. This song, the first side of this record is just Walking in Agitation, and the second side is going to start off with On Green Dolphin Street. Miles has the mute in, plays a familiar tune, but in a different way without wrinkling the feathers of his hardcore fan base. It sounds like he pulls the mute out to me at the 3-minute and 45-second mark and just playing regular trumpet. The crowd's right on top of them. You could hear the moans and groans and sighs from people in the front row. Shorter and the band play the song straight for the rest. Miles really changes up the structure of the song, and then they go back into playing, just in a standard way. So they're mixing genres in a sense. Post bop, where we're getting more abstract, but then now going back into hard bop. So What's Next? Of course, famous song off of Kind of Blue. Miles comp again. Band comes flying in and Carter is deliberately slightly changing up the bum. He's playing a slightly different tone, and he's doing that iconic riff slightly different on purpose. Again, Williams demonstrates the isolated notes that he plays that are so well recorded. CBS was smart enough, or Columbia, if you will, to record this whole run of shows, or a lot of these runs of shows, and there is a complete CD reissue of more of these shows. And it's genius that they did that. This band is being recorded at full flight. Again, Williams is on top of his games. Is this the best band in the world? Question mark. The Beatles? Question mark. Wayne Shorter, Ron Carter, Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis, and Tony Williams. I mean, you're talking about masters at their jobs. Herbie Hancock, 25-year-old master at his job. Wayne Shorter, a brilliant composer who Miles wanted for some time before he got him. Really, he's finally found somebody after stints with George Coleman and stints with Sam Rivers. Finally has a guy that can bring tunes to the show. Tony just simply stuns on So What on his drum solo. Herbie is dazzling, fast, intricate runs that he's known for. Show-stopping. The last song on side 2 is the theme, the Miles composition. Shorter just wonks and glides through opening minutes, displays his full arsenal in just a 3-minute and 33-second song, mostly composed of Shorter playing over a rhythm section. Second disc, so second album, side 3, if you will, is Round Midnight. Thelonious Monk tune that Miles had been doing for years. Miles and crew just decomposed this classic in their own way. It's emotional. Miles shows naked confidence. Miles is up front playing almost unaccompanied, taking chances, but so confident that, because he's in his prime, let's face it, Miles is 39 years old here, and he's halfway through his career. If you think about starting in 45 or 44, now it's 65. It's amazing. He has his band. He has the band that he's always wanted, and he knows he does. Beautiful runs by Hancock. You hear yeah from the guy during Hancock's runs, or yeah from the front row. You could hear the intimacy of this small venue. Fantastic rendition. Stella by Starlight is next. Victor Young song from 1944. Elegant baby-making music. Band really takes off at the 4-minute and 45-second mark. Reimagining a standard, Carter's role is hard to underestimate in this band. Ron Carter, is taken over for Paul Chambers. Really a seamless transition from one master to another master. Williams, they weave this yarn that's so tight, Williams and Carter. and it just sets up the backbone for this wonderful band. You know, Shorter is able to play bop and cool and hard bop and post bop all within the same solo. So he's going in through 3 or 4 or 5 different genres of jazz or subgenres of jazz within the same solo. He can please somebody that loves the classic bebop and then get real romantic and smooth and then more bluesy and then more deconstructive. It's just, it's really incredible. Then we go to all blues, and again, all blues. We're now on side 4 of this, okay? Side 4, all blues. Again, a Davis standard. Miles plays for the first 4 minutes of the song. Miles is from St. Louis, and St. Louis knows the blues. Wayne then interplays with Hancock. Abstraction that must please the Dark Prince. Again, they're going out of their way to be abstract, to change things up. They know what he wants. Give him what he needs. Miles is, again, 20 years deep into his career. Herbie and Tony then take over. 2 boys from Chicago. Chicago knows the blues. Then Ron takes over. He's from Detroit. Detroit knows the blues. We got a Midwestern band. 2 guys from Chicago, 1 guy from Detroit, 1 guy from St. Louis, and Shorter from New Jersey. It's just fantastic. Yesterday's is the next song, and really last song on this, although if you look on Spotify, they go back to the theme at the end. Yesterday's is a Jerome Kern song. You could hear the December wet streets of Chicago. 1321 North Wells Street in Old Town Chicago, to be exact, where the Plug Nickel is. And it's just blues and hard bop, and the always generous Miles is letting Wayne explore. You know, Miles knew he had these guys in his band, and he knew that you can get ear fatigue if Miles just takes over. Let Herbie run. Let Wayne run. Let Tony go. It's just what makes the second quintet probably my favorite music in jazz. Then Herbie does an unaccompanied bit where he's just playing piano with no drums, with no bass. Then slightly Ron comes in with a little bit of bass to join him. And then Tony slightly comes in, slowly fading out before Miles finally says goodnight on this masterpiece of an album. They do come back in with a theme on the CD version and on the digital format version. This is a fantastic album. This is one of the masterpieces in live recorded music in all of music history. And we are going to pick out next week's album from our little bucket here. And we are going to go to 1956. 2 recording sessions on May 11th, 56 and October 26th of 56. Steamin'. The first quintet. Steamin' off those great Prestige albums. This wasn't released until 61 because he was finishing out his Prestige. We got John Coltrane in the house. We're going to have Philly Jones in the house. I'm almost positive Red Garland's on piano. Wynton Kelly's not there yet. And, of course, Paul Chambers on bass and Miles Davis. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. See ya. Peace.